Well, you know what? I'm hopeful this one will be pretty quick because I don't even remember if I saw everything. The stars weren't there, and neither was I. Monday Night Raw. Anything you have to say about this?
Boy, howdy. I'm going to talk about a couple of promos, and otherwise, that's pretty much. They have, again, they've announced they're going to have the Battle Royal, and they had it for the women's title that Rhea had to relinquish. So, of course, a completely original way to fill a vacant title. But they had Damian Priest, the new world champion. His top challenger is going to be Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso, and Jey is doing his promos so they can yeet instead of what? He'll say a quick sentence, and then they'll yeet, and then blah, 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 yeet. I think we mentioned he's not the nimble linguist that The Rock is, or that and it's just Priest comes out and they fucking have their set to with each other verbally. And they talk about how they reminisce that they had a wonderful night of drinking together. And Jey had told him, we're next. Well, I was next, Jey. I don't know about you. You're the first one that the machine is going to feed me to make this title look good on me. But it drug. And I don't, if Jey ain't in the bloodline, I ain't a lot interested in Jey. And he did have one good line. The only reason that you're the leader of the Judgment Day is because Rhea Ripley got hurt. You're Dominic Mysterio's bitch. You're getting fed to me. But then J.D. McDonough tried to attack Jey Uso from behind, but missed. And then Jey tried to super kick J.D., but missed and hit Priest. And then J.D. shit himself and Jey Uso left the ring. And so there's problems in the Judgment Day. You can tell that Priest is starting to get fed up with everybody, and they want to break him loose, make him a top single. But right now, they're still in that awkward breakup phase, right? Did you like the tag team match between Do It Yourself and Do It Somewhere Else?
Which match was this again?
It was DIY, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Sameface against The Miz and R-Truth. Do It Yourself versus Do It Somewhere Else, which is what I wish they'd do.
I went with the second option, and I don't remember the match.
Very good. So then Priest was bitching JD out in the back, and then Dominic's arm is in a sling now. Did he get hurt for real, or what the fuck's going on with him?
I don't know.
Well, his arm was in a sling, and he told Escobar to team with JD tonight, and Priest tells him, well, you guys better handle your business and stay out of mine. Which sounds like good advice for anybody. And then they had an in-ring interview with Gunther and his stooges. And
I did see this.
Do you think they could have given him something better or allowed him to do something better than losing the title after 666 days? And then coming out and say, I'm cool, I'm calm. I'm over it now. A weight has been lifted off of me. No longer am I the hunted, now I'm the hunter. I'm not a target anymore. I'm declaring for the King of the Ring, and I'm going to decide what title to take next. Didn't bother me. It's only a flesh wound. I really think a noose. Braun Breaker could have been made by beating this guy in 6 more months, and what a match it would have been. And then and Sammy's the North American Intercontinental. What title is this?
Intercontinental.
He's the Intercontinental title champion of North America. But anyway, that was this promo, and I love Gunther. I don't know. It didn't impress me because it just like it was nothing, and it was made to be nothing, and it should have been something. It should have been a big something. Was it something to you? Because it was nothing to me.
Not much, and I mean, I guess the story is really what happened after Gunther talked.
Well, and I don't see how that helps Gunther. You know, but nevertheless, the story is New Day, of course, had to come out making odd noises and farting about. And they went into the gazillionth tag team match that they've had with these guys, but finally they beat poor old Leonardo da Vinci. And Gunther got mad and walked out, and poor old Kaiser Wilhelm was there to comfort Da Vinci and helped him up and got him out of the ring, was patting him on the head. I thought he was going to give him a little tongue on a kiss there at one point. There was so much physical contact. He was really comforting him. I'd like to be comforted like that.
Really?
Well, maybe for less than $100 or so. But anyway, and then suddenly, without warning, he turned on him and beat the shit out of him, threw him over the desk, over the stairs. The officials came out. He ran back around the officials and flying drop kicked Da Vinci's head in, and then left and went past Gunther in the back, who was smiling broadly at his efforts. So they got rid of, and you know what? I'm liking that better already because Wilhelm makes the fucking thing. His one stooge with that stink face that he gets and the introduction, and then there's Gunther when he was with a tag team, and then they were trying to get us to take the tag team seriously when they were underneath guys and blah, blah, blah. This is better. One flunky is better, and this is the best flunky. Which flunky were you more spunky about?
I don't know if I would phrase it that way, but I agree
Was
with
either
you.
flunky funky like a monkey?
The problem was you had one flunky who had personality, and even though he lost, he still had personality. He got on a mic. The other one stood there like a mute and never did anything and always took the pin. So I don't know how good his future prospects look right now.
Well, his future endeavors, nevertheless. Okay, here is the goddamn, I'm trying to look through this. Yeah, it's pretty much the highlight of the fucking night. This and maybe Chad Gable, but Drew McIntyre got in a ring. And again, they can't be writing this for him, because if they were writing it for him, they would have been able to write it for him last year. And they weren't. It must be that he's coming up with this and they've just now allowed him to do this like this. Because remember when he was a boring baby face carrying a goddamn fake sword, chopping fake ring ropes?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I remember.
Well,
I'll never forget.
Never forget. But as soon as he gets in the ring now, they want to see him, and the CM Punk chant starts. And he sits cross-legged like Punk in the ring for the pipe bomb, and that makes him chant Punk more. And Drew's story is that man actually hates all of you and himself. And they start trying to what him. And he suddenly says, say what if you French kiss your cousins? And they say what? And you people are sick. And then he said, the most complex relationship you've ever had is with your right hand. And the story is Punk attacked him, and then Priest cashed in, and then he got put in a four-way, and then Punk screwed him again, and then Jay Uso took advantage like a coward. It's all these people's fault, and he's targeting the king of the ring to come and show all these people what for, and then the music interrupts, and it's Sheamus. Sheamus is back.
Sheamus.
What was his injury or heartache? The reason why he's been gone?
Sheamus.
Yeah, Sheamus.
Sheamus.
Seamus, right?
Sheamus.
I don't see an H.
They spell it with an H.
Up.
No, they spell it. Look it up where. They spell it with an H.
I didn't see it.
Hold on. Yeah, Sheamus.
Yeah.
She-a-mus.
They're spelling it wrong. She must what?
No, if you want to...
What does she do?
Phonetically, well, whatever. He's
All
back.
right, well,
He's back.
Well, Sheamus is telling Drew what for because he's an old friend of his. He's known him for 20 years, said, you're sulking. The only person not taking responsibility is you. That makes you a coward. You've been saying you were robbed for the past 4 years, and you finally won. You were in front of your family and the crowd and everything you wanted, and you blew it. Over a meme and a t-shirt, you threw it all away. You threw it all away, Drew. And as your friend, I'm telling you hard truths here. A one-armed CM Punk kicked your ass. And Drew said, you know what he did to me. You better than anybody. Well, Sheamus says, you're obsessed. And then Drew says, oh, well, you want some hard truths? Well, you've gone from having banger after banger after banger to having burger after burger after burger. And he does because it's hard for a man that's this as white as a sheet of paper to not look fat, but he didn't used to look fat, but now he kind of looks fat, doesn't he?
No, not at all.
He looks like he has something extra around the midsection. Well, a tan would take care of that, though. It really would. But anyway, and Sheamus, shame of him all, responded, I deserve that, but I can lose weight. You can't lose stupid. Stop blaming everybody else. And now then they were in a full-fledged argument because they're friends, so they have to argue. And then Drew said he was going to watch his back in his match. And was that a veiled threat or what? We don't know. So we stayed tuned and we watched Sheamus beat Shaky Nakamura, and Drew didn't do anything to him. So apparently it was a really veiled threat. He couldn't get through the veil to actually do anything about it. What'd you think of this?
I like Drew on the mic. The rest of it I didn't really care too much for. By this point of the show, too, it's like, okay, there's no star power. I mean, Drew is good. But after that, you're like, Cody, nowhere to be seen. Rollins ain't going to be around for a while. So I don't know. It just felt like a run-of-the-mill Raw.
When is somebody going to talk about how badly Seth Rollins may be injured? Is anybody going to talk about that?
We saw a fan cam video, I know you saw it too, from WrestleMania of when he got in there dressed in his Shield garb to hit The Rock with the chair.
But he got stopped real quick. And remember, I'd remarked, goddamn, that's all that Seth did was he started to come in and they wiped him out and that was it. That seemed odd.
Well, when he took that bump, his leg took an odd turn, I don't know what to say. It looked like it fell off his body.
It took a flop to the right of him that a properly attached limb should not take. And we didn't see him get injured to the point of immobility in his match or in anything he had done up to that point. So I'm just putting this out there that it looked to me like one of those fucking deals that we've seen here lately a few times where some innocuous thing, the guy's running into the ring from the crowd to do a spot and comes over the rail or missteps off a fucking step or whatever and blows his goddamn knee. But when he was trying to get into the ring on this fan cam footage, we weren't supposed to see him on the broadcast. But the fan cam has him limping and keeping his right leg, I believe it was, his right leg as straight as possible and rolling into the ring with the chair to get blasted. And when he goes down, like I said, the leg flops like there was no connective tissue. And that was it for Seth. So they can't have sent him to the ring in that condition. They would have called something else, or he would have been so heavily taped and wrapped that there's no way that thing was flopping around like that, if they would have even cleared him to do it at all. So to me, something may have had to have happened between the time he left and the time he got there. And but it didn't look good. And nobody, the only reference to him has been when Cody said, thank you, Seth, watching at home. Thank you. Why was he watching at home? Maybe because he can't fucking walk. I don't know what's going on.
That looked really bad. And again, he went into this with an injury. He had to get medically cleared to be at WrestleMania. We thought he was going to be out a lot longer. That's what originally screwed up the match with, was it going to be him and Punk? I forget what it was.
It was going to be him and, yes. And then everything else started going sideways. And my God, what kind of fucking bad karma or bad ironic or whatever it would be if that was the knee that he had just got cleared off of, that he'd done therapy instead of having some kind of surgery or whatever. Yeah, but anyway, so we're trying to find out more about the condition and or the whereabouts of Seth Franklin Rollins. Stay tuned to the programming. Would you like to continue and finish up this program?
Finish it up, yes.
Chad Gable. He's in the ring with Otis and Tozawa and the model girl, and I wrote, God, he needs to dump these three if they're going to push him. And Gable did a good promo. He's very well spoken and he's got personality. He did a heel promo about the match with Sammy and how he got mad and what he did was justified because Sammy rubbed it in. He not only put that belt right in front of me, but then he celebrated with his wife right in front of me when it should have been my moment. This is the kind of shit that Jericho's doing, getting booed out of the fucking building by the people in the locker room. But it's good with Gable, and he's pulling it off. And then he turns to these three. He says, I've been wasting my time training losers. And he berated Tozawa for being a loser. And he told model girl she was dumber than a box of rocks. And then he goes to Otis, and the fans started chanting Otis. That needs to be a big-time TV match where Chad will fuck Otis and get a ton of heat because people like that fat, useless fuck.
Will you stop it? He's not useless.
The way he's been presented, and then if he goes away and we forget about everything that he's ever done and comes back with a goddamn different haircut or something and a different name, he might be pretty good too.
Hey, they took Chad Gable from someone you hated watching because of the shush stuff, and look at where he is now. They could do anything.
Yeah, but Otis was the flunky of the guy doing the shush stuff.
Think of how much better this stuff is than Otis and Mandy.
Oh, I forgot about Mandy. What happened to Mandy?
They fired her, and then she became a star on OnlyFans or something.
That's right. She's the one that's on the OnlyFans. I understand her fans aren't lonely, even if they're only. There's a bunch of them. Anyway, Otis is the biggest disappointment of all of them. You wanted honest feedback, and from now on, you're all going to focus on me, and you're all going to help me win the Intercontinental title. You're going to help me no matter what, right? Right? And he makes Otis say no matter what. So there's going to be trouble there. And then, besides another tag team match with Escobar and JD against Rick O'Shea and his partner Andrade, where Damian Priest came in and beat up both baby faces and told Dominic in Spanish, I don't need anybody, you need me. Because they got beat, obviously. Then we had 33 minutes of a goddamn women's battle royal to determine the new women's champion to replace Rhea Ripley. And I got to admit that I watched more of this than you would have expected me to. And Brian, tell me why. I bet you can guess why.
Was it the perverse curiosity of seeing all these women in a battle royal setting?
You were almost there. The perverse, morbid curiosity of watching the model girl. I watched only her for the whole time she was in it. If the camera shot wasn't on her, I would wait until it came back and I would just watch her and what she did, or more importantly, didn't do. She was a scared deer caught in the fucking headlights of an oncoming truck. And they were giving her spots because they want to make her the sympathetic figure, right? Because it started setting it up with Gable so that he can, malign them and it'll make more sense. But they set it up for her to dump not only Indy Hartwell, but Candy LaRue too. But in between whatever she was supposed to do, to avoid doing anything or to avoid fucking up anything, probably she would sell or hide or lay in the corner. Or if people were at one point, she and Indy were just in the corner and Indy had her foot on her throat for like a minute. Just stay here. Don't move. You could fuck something up if you move. And then she'd every once in a while do a few fake kicks. And then they kept her in there until finally she had a face-off with Refrigerator Jax. And She hit Nia with 3 kicks, and Nia grabbed her and dumped her and got some fucking heat. So they got something out of it, but it was fascinating to what it's poor thing. She has no idea what she's doing, where she's at, what she's in, how to do it. She's scared and lost and confused. She's in the high weeds screaming, "Find me, find me." But after she got dumped, there was 15 more minutes, so I fast forwarded that. And the last 3 were the Refrigerator, Becky Lynch, and Liv Morgan. And they teamed up and dumped the fridge, cleaned out the fridge, and then they fought on the apron forever, and Liv Morgan took a pissy little bump to the floor, and Becky won. So now she's the champion, even though she just lost at WrestleMania 2 weeks ago. Your thoughts?
That was Raw. Indeed it was. That was Raw.